Termanology.
Yo,
What up?
how you doing, my brother?
What's good, bro?
I can't complain, bro.
Oh man, thank you for joining me on the Low Theory, brother.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Long time coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was telling everybody, you know what I mean, before you jumped on, man, we got a lot of history. I mean, we go back early days.
Yeah, definitely, man. You was on one of my first shows I ever did.
Word. Which one? Which one?
I think it was in like Leominster.
Yo, that's probably right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy, man. And I rocked with you way back at Slades with Lee Wilson.
yeah,
We did
yeah,
a couple little joints, yo.
yeah, like 2002, 2001.
Yeah, for sure, bro. But listen, man, I wanted to get you on here. Obviously, we have some history, but more importantly, I've been watching your career grow from all these years, and the work ethic is unbelievable. So I want to get you on just so I know a lot of cats already know you, but I want you to talk more specifically about, 43 projects in, man. It's
Yeah,
amazing. You know what I'm saying? So, um, congrats to that, first off.
thank
Congrats to that. Actually, before I dive into the questions, y'all, I want to show you a couple things, man. You kind of tell me what they mean to you.
you. All right.
All right. So we'll start off with this one.
What? Oh my God, look at them braids. Look at them braids,
Let's go,
man.
man. I'm telling you, you're not only the homie, I'm a fan and a supporter, bro. This
You
is
know what's crazy, bro? If we're gonna start counting all of them, then I got way more than 43 because I'm not counting. I didn't count the high school joints. You know what I mean?
dog.
I started when it got professional. But
That's when you started counting?
yeah. If you want to count like the high school joints, oh yeah, man, it's a lot. As you see, right? That one right there, I was selling it in high school for $5, right? And that's why
Crazy.
the blunt on the front it says censored because I
Crazy. Look at this shit, yo.
yes.
You came up. You came up, man.
Yeah, man. I did a couple things since back then, man.
Since then. What
That
about
was 20 years ago, actually. That CD
that
that
one?
you're holding.
Oh,
That's 20 years old.
I believe it, man. We don't want to age ourselves, but I believe it.
Look
How
at
about
that
that?
one.
How
Aye,
about
yeah,
that
yeah.
joint? How
Yeah,
about
that
that?
one right there is great. My mom told me that's a photo of me when I was 5. Uh,
Word?
yeah, so that photo
Let
is
me put
me.
that back up so people can see it.
Yeah, that's me with the mic already when I was 5. So my mom put me onto that. And
Word, bro. And then I feel like this one definitely it says reintroduce. I mean, this was the team, man. It's still the
yeah,
team.
true indeed. Me and Easy. Uh,
Yeah.
it says reintroduced because we came out at Street in 2002, January 3rd of 2002, which I was still
Uh-huh.
in high school. And
Uh-huh.
then we went and we both got signed solo. And when we both got signed solo, we parted as a group and became solo artists. But then we decided to come back and do in 2005, summer of '05, we did that mixtape. So it was like reintroduced.
Okay. And then I'm gonna drop. I got a lot more too. I don't want to go through all of them. There's so many, but I want to drop
Yeah.
this one too.
Okay.
VS Speech Therapy, hosted
Yeah.
by Termanology.
Hosted. Yeah, I hosted that joint. Yeah.
That's right, man.
That's
You remember
crazy.
that?
I do. Yeah.
I think I rolled up to Lowell and I went to the studio and you did all the drops right there. You're like, let's go.
True indeed. Yeah.
Instantly.
One could sound. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, and I believe that was right before you did the joint with Premiere, the first,
Yeah.
Watch How It Go Down. I think that was right before that.
Yeah. It was. It was the
Actually,
year
it was
before.
because I walked in the studio and you were like, yo, I just did a joint with Premiere. And I was like, for real? He's like, but I can't play it for you. You're like, I can't play it though. And I'm like, all right. Shit was, and then obviously, where that record went.
Yeah, man. Changed my life, bro.
Right. All right. So out of all the projects, that you're counting as 43,
Yeah.
which one do you feel like which one, there's two questions around them, like which one had the most sales wise? What's the biggest sales as
The
far as the
biggest
album?
one was 2008. It was Politics as Usual, the one that had Watch
Mm,
How It Go Down, So Amazing,
okay.
How We Rock. Like
Okay.
it had all the big
Yep.
Premiere records, and that was before the industry changed into the digital era that it is now. So your record label was able to make 5, 10, 20,000 CDs and ship it to Best Buy and all these places all around the world, and you would sell just because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was
Right.
accessible. And like once the world changed into a digital market where people like had to it changed to the point where it's like no longer holding it in your hand. And I think that was like all sales declined in music until they figured out the way to steal the rights from the artist with the streaming that they say
Right.
is helping us. But really, what happened was the major labels also bought the big interest into Spotify. So now not only do the major labels own the music, they also own they don't only own the artist and the master, but now they own the platform that plays it. So
Wow.
yeah. So before, let's say I was making, $5 an album, $6 an album. Now it's like you're making 1 penny for every 15 plays. So if somebody listened to my
Tough.
whole album that just dropped Friday, let's say somebody downloaded on Apple Music and they listened to my whole new album, 360, it's 10 records. From beginning to end, I wouldn't even get 1 penny.
What?
Yeah, but back
What?
before, they would have to go pay the $10 or 20 or
Right.
15 or 30 for vinyl, whatever it was. So
Right.
the more you know what I'm saying, you understand.
Imagine that, man.
Yeah,
And you came up right, and you're in both kind of realms of this industry. You came up when it was like that, and now the digital era. But imagine, when you were doing mixtapes, you were selling them for $5 a piece, and
right.
you could sell 5,000 of them. Do
True.
that math.
Exactly. That was the whole
Bread.
thing. That
Right.
was, but they knew that. They knew the power in that, and they knew that if they took that power away from the artist, that they can keep all the money.
That's crazy, bro.
So
That's
it's
crazy.
criminal, man. It's criminal.
It is criminal.
There's actually court hearings and proceedings that go on behind closed doors where they actually, fight, the major labels fight with lawsuits with the artists and Spotify and all that stuff. So it's still crazy, man. All through what artists go through.
Wow. Wow. All right, switching gears a little bit in regards to the 43 projects, which one means the most to you?
I mean, that's so hard to say, bro, because it's like saying you got 5 kids and you're saying, "What's your favorite kid?" There's definitely cool things about all of your
Each
kids.
one.
There's
Right.
definitely unique times in your life that you went through certain things. But there's definitely some of them that are like my favorites because it is attached to a time. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, like that one I spoke on, to Watch How It Go Down. That
Mm-hmm.
was a time, a time like it was like, wow, I blew up as an artist. I did something that was virtually impossible. Speaking about somebody who grew up in Lawrence and Haverhill. I grew
Right.
up in Lawrence half of my adult life, and then Haverhill before I moved to New York. You know what I'm saying? And then ended up living in New York for the next 10, 15 years. But
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning of my life, it was like I was living in Lawrence and Haverhill, and no rappers ever came from Haverhill, so that was crazy within itself. But then even with Lawrence, it was a couple people that came before me, but not in the digital age, right? So I was essentially like the first person to kick down the door for 978 hip hop. You know what I'm saying? In the in
That's
the
facts.
in the game that we know it as what it is, and also if you're not being so specific and you're not breaking down exactly what hood, also Boston rap. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because I was part of Boston rap too, and even though there was like Edo G and Zeno and all these artists that were also big, in the time that I came out, they weren't big no more. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Right.
the one. Like I had to go to New York and Miami and Atlanta, and every single day on tour in a different
Right.
part of the country, they're like, "Give it up for Termanology from Boston, Mass," and they just looking like, "Well, what does he got?" Because we haven't heard anybody since back in the day
Right.
worth listening to, and that's kind of the black cloud and stigma that was over Boston rap when I came out. So I had to kick down the door and like retrain people to understanding that like, no, Massachusetts got something to say. So it was like
Yeah.
kicking down several doors at once. You know what I
That's
mean? But
facts.
it's cool. It's cool. It's part of history. Some people will try to jump over it. Maybe they were too young to understand what really happened, or they want to reframe it. But bro, that's the truth. You know what I mean? You were there.
It absolutely is the truth, and everybody who's listening, who's on here right now from Lawrence should be absolutely proud about what you do because you've been shouting out Lawrence consistently, bro, for
Right.
years, making
978.
sure that 978 exactly. Let me see here. I was writing down just a couple names, but I couldn't even fit them on this paper.
Yeah.
You've worked with the elite of the elite, bro. Let me just name off a couple producers that you've worked with. DJ Premier, Large Professor, Pete Rock, Easy Mo B, Buck Wild, Not, Static Selector. You've worked with Hot Tech. You've obviously worked with the Locks, Method Man, Redman, Q-Tip. I can keep going on and on. What is it like to have the type of resume that you have? I mean, this is an all-star list, bro. Like, to get to this point, how do you feel?
Yeah,
This
man. Well, that's what I set out to do. You know what I'm saying? As you see, looking in back of me, there's 2,000, um, you know, CDs in back of me that I purchased with my own money. And
word.
like with me being a student of the game and me being somebody that loves hip hop, how could I say that I went to the store and bought a Mobb Deep album and listened to it every day religiously with my headphones on, walking to school? How could I not act like I wouldn't want to work with Havoc and Prodigy?
Right.
How could
Crazy.
I act like that? How do these artists just act like so too cool for school around people? I've had people be like, "Oh, you're a dick rider," like, cause I'll get in the room with an artist and be like, "Yo, I'm a big fan," and it's like that person is so insecure that they would have to make it seem like that way. It would be that way to them that giving somebody their props makes you like weird, And I never
Right.
looked at it like that, man. So for me,
Right.
anytime I saw somebody that I was a fan of, I told them. And a lot of times they're like, "Yo, I'm a fan of you too," and that's what happened with Bun B, and that's what happened with Method Man, and that's what happened,
Mm-hmm.
with Buck Wild and different people. It was like I started
Yeah.
making noise, and lo and behold, these people were fans of me. And if they weren't, I would go on tour with them, and then I would turn them into fans of me.
Word. Exactly. Who's at it like everybody? And no, I didn't forget anybody. I just couldn't name everybody that Terms work
You'd
with.
still
You
be
got
going
shit.
right now.
Right. I'd still be going. I don't want to waste my 30 minutes on naming everybody that Terms work with. But who personally, I mean, actually I'm not gonna say that, but who haven't you collab with that you want to?
I mean, the list goes on because there's new artists that come out all the time, right? Like Post Malone is one of my favorite artists right now, and people probably
Okay.
wouldn't think of that, but it's like he's essentially new. You know what I'm saying? So you would have asked me 5 years ago, he wouldn't have been on the list. But I say that to say that there's new people all the time. I think like a bucket list one for me was always Dr. Dre. I've just been like a huge Dre fan. So,
Definitely.
Dre and Snoop definitely. Static's worked with Snoop a bunch of times. And that's the closest I've got. I've been able to live vicariously through Static on a lot of situations. Like I've been
Right.
able to like see my brother do it and say, "Yo, I could do it," because like my brother did it. So like it's right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we kind of, it's funny because we've had conversations where we kind of compete with each other, and it's like steel sharpens steel. He'd be like, "Well, you don't got a song with Eminem," and I'd be like, "Well, you don't got a song with Busta Rhymes," and he'd be like, "Well, you don't got a song with 2 Chainz," and I'd be like, "Well, you don't got a song with Method Man." So it was like we were kind of doing that for
Right.
a long time, but to this day, there's new artists coming out all the time. So there's a lot of people, man.
That's dope. That's crazy, man. Before we talk about the new album 360, you got the seventh annual Good Dad Gang backpack giveaway happening. I think what you're doing for the city is great. The philanthropy, the business model itself, I support it. I consider myself a good dad. I'm part of the squad. Um, what made you create Good Dad Gang? And then talk to people a little bit about what this backpack giveaway is all about.
The backpack giveaway is so incredible. We do it every year in the city of Lawrence. Lawrence is the poorest city in Massachusetts. It's also where I was born, grew up for a large part of my life. My whole family still live there and still from there. So I'm very deeply rooted. I was there all day, dropping off backpacks. I was there all day yesterday. I went to a school to talk to children. And, it's just like a lot of these rappers, bro, like they grow up and they can't go back to their hood because they mistreated the people in the hood, and the hood don't rock with them no more. Or, you know, a lot of them just get too important and too busy to go back to their hood. A lot of people just don't care. They're not a good person. They don't, you
Hmm.
know, they're selfish. So we can sit here all day, coming up with reasons why people don't give back. But for me, just coming up as a poor kid in Lawrence in the 80s and 90s, um, I understand that these people need help, you know what I'm saying? And even
Hmm.
if they're too proud or if they don't want to say it or whatever, I know what it is because when we did it the first year, we just posted up in the park. We got 100 bags, and in an hour, all the 100 bags were gone, but people kept showing up. Yo, bringing 4 or 5 kids. Yo, our house just burned down. Yo, we need 4 bags. Yo, we ain't got no clothes.
Wow.
It's crazy, bro. So I was like, nah, hold up, man. These people really need me in the city. And once I realized that, I have like a lifelong dedication from now until when I die to give back to the community. And what I
Wow.
want to do also is like give back to different communities. You know, I talked to Jamie Foxx, right? Jamie Foxx has been a big supporter of Good Dad Gang. He FaceTimed me and we had a long conversation. And I told him one of my life goals would be to take Good Dad Gang backpack giveaway on tour. So we go to Chicago, we go to Philly, we go to New York, we go to Boston, we go all
Hell yeah.
around. Like I would be willing to take time out of my life to do something like that.
Amazing.
So how I created it was more just I love hanging with my kids, man. So it started out with hashtag Good Dad Gang every Sunday, Daddy Daughter Day, turned into
Hmm.
a t-shirt, t-shirt turned into a website, website turned into tattoos, turned into a movement. You know what I'm saying? And now it's larger than life, bro. It's people repping my brand all over the world that I don't even know who they are, and I don't even care to get the props from that. I separated terminology from Good Dad Gang. Good Dad Gang is a movement for people to just take care of their kids and just be good dads. That's what it's all about.
Facts. Facts. Amazing what you're doing, man. Seriously. Great job. Seriously.
Thank you.
Let's get into the album. So 360.
Mm-hmm.
Teaming up with Amadeus. Where's he from?
So yeah, Amadeus is based out of New York. He's
Okay.
an OG. You know, he's an OG, and when he first approached me, we were at this Fat Joe concert. It was like this Loud Records concert in New York where they had like I believe it was like 25th anniversary of Loud Records, and it was every
Okay.
artist. It was like every loud artist you could think of, like you know what I'm saying, Fat Joe, Wu-Tang. They were honoring Pun and you know beating us, this guy, that guy, all these different artists. Um, so I'm in there, and Amadeus is backstage, and he's like, "Yo, I really want to work with you, bro. You know, let me get your math, and we're gonna talk. I'm cool with your man, Little Fame. I'm cool with he. You know, he ran down a list of people, so I knew he was about his business, and he wasn't just you know people ask me for my number every day. I wake up to
Right.
hundreds of emails and DMs, and like, please listen to my beat. It's just there's not enough time in the day for me to even
Right.
get back my own family and friends. So imagine. But anyways, I took him serious, and he ended up having some heat, and then on top of that he had like a good vision. He was like, "Yo, I want to do this. I'm gonna rent this car. I'm gonna pick you up at this time. This person's coming. I hired this director. I'm gonna have MOP be in the video. Then we're gonna go over here." So I was like, "Oh, he's about his business. He's not just trying to just
Yeah.
throw me a couple dollars and just me do a feature and then we never talk to each other again." It was like he had a vision for what he wanted to do, and that ended up turning into a whole project.
Yo, that's crazy. The project's really dope. Let's see. We got Smith and Wesson. Sheik Luch is on it. Razcast, Sky Zoo, Big Pun's son, Chris Rivers is on it.
Yeah,
Obviously, MOP, Little Fame. Who else? Easy Money, of course, the fam,
fam, for sure.
right? Nems is on it. It's a solid album, man. I'm always just curious about the process, but it seems like he kind of guided this album. He kind of was like, let's do X, Y, Z, and
Yeah,
then you guys kind of came together and did it. I'm always just curious about the
yeah,
process of creating the album. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And especially
Well,
43 projects, man. Why do
right.
you want to keep? Why do you want to keep doing it?
Man, I got like five or 10 done right now. You know what I mean? There's a whole album with Paul Wall that's done 10 songs,
Whoa.
produced by Pete Rock, Static, and others. That's done. That's been done since last year. You know, there's a whole project with me and Planet Asia that's done. There's a
Yo.
Mix Beats mixtape that's done. I got a song with Locks and MOP on it. There's
Oh
just
my
so much
God.
music. AG the Coroner was in here earlier. He's on. He's on the Term X Beats project. So what happens with a lot of this music, bro, is like it gets done and then we can't find a home for it, maybe like a label. So where, let's say, all right, I did a whole album with Conductor Williams, right? So when I started working with him, it was about 2 years ago, and he had very little credits. From then to now, Westside Gunn really blew up, and now he's doing a bulk of work for Westside Gunn. So from 2 years ago when we started, he was unknown, and now he's like a celebrity within the Griselda, culture. So it's like, bro, from then to now, that album could have came out a year ago, and it didn't because other ones would get a record deal and jump in front of it. So
Right.
even when I do stuff, it's like I'm not just saying, oh, it's done, put it on iTunes tomorrow, because then they're competing with each other. And I like to do CD, vinyl,
You're
merch,
meticulous about the timing.
all that, the artwork,
Right. The
even the
package.
art. That's my
Right.
eyeball on a 360.
Oh,
I
word.
sat
Oh,
there with my
okay.
homegirl. She pulled her phone out. She took a million pictures of me. I went like this. I opened my eyeball up, and then my man took
Oh
the
shit.
eyeball and put the globe inside the eyeball. He put New York on one side, Boston on the other side, and there's the highway going in between. So if you really look at
Oh, I really
360,
got to look at it.
it's like my globe. How do I see the world? What do I do? I bounce back and forth, New York to Boston, grinding. Like, so you
Oh
feel me?
shit.
It's like
That's
we on
dope.
that level now. We on some
Right.
Kanye shit. Like,
Everything
you know
has a
what I mean?
meaning, a
Yeah, man.
purpose.
So I mean, I always like try to be
Yeah.
creative and shit, but I try to like work with the
Yeah.
new talent.
Were you creative when you did this?
No, that was a fucking 3XYT with my big ass chain. I was straight thugging right
This is how
there.
covers were though back in this
That's
time though.
that shit was hot back then.
Yeah, very hot. Right.
Killer Touch, what up, baby? Shout out to D Block. But yeah, man, it's like an evolution. Like sometimes in my career, I've had to speed up a little bit more to get the
Word.
bag and to stay relevant, and sometimes I've slowed down. But ever since I came out, I've always dropped at least 2 projects a year, sometimes 4 or
Crazy,
5.
man.
And
Crazy, bro.
I've always had good guest appearances. I've had Sheik Luch and MOP on almost all of them, and
Crazy.
done songs with everybody you named and more. And
Busta Rhymes is on. Busta Rhymes is
Busta
on this
Rhymes,
one.
singles with Busta Rhymes and Styles P. And the thing is too, right? To be honest, like there's something to be said for somebody who does a lot of music, like that. Props to them. But there's another level to that, right? There's a lot of artists that just rap to rap, but every time I write a verse, I'm rapping against my last verse. So I'm like trying my hardest to break my brain to say, yo, if somebody plays Jay-Z and Rakim, when I go next, are they gonna be like, turn him off, he's whack? Or are they gonna say, nah, his shit is. So that shit takes even longer, and it's even more frustrating because you can't use the same punchline, you can't use the same words, you can't have the same concept. You want to change your flow. You want a song with Busta, so you gotta give it a little extra. You know what I'm saying, dog? So it's
No, it's
like,
true. I
yeah,
get it, man. And it's crazy how you do it because for you to say that, bro, you have probably 10,000 verses.
yeah. Real
How
talk.
do you make sure that one is elevated, after the other? You know what I mean? And like, how do you even, when you perform, how do you remember this? Are
Yeah,
cats going, yo, spit that verse from '05? How do you, like,
yeah.
you gotta have a sharp memory.
I don't. I mean, I can't say I don't have a sharp memory, but I can't say that I would be able to just spit you all the songs because it's impossible.
So many.
I just pick ones that I memorize, and I update it every year as the albums drop.
Right. Okay. There's like particular songs on each album that you focus on to keep.
Yeah, I know what the crowd's
Okay.
gonna rock with. I know when I say I dream big, they're gonna say I dream big back. And then I know, my favorite rapper was Pun. What'd he say? You don't know if I got a gun. So I know that's
Yeah.
gonna go off. Then we in a party, so up every night is gonna go off well. If there's some ladies in the house, we doing go home.
Right.
End of the night, watch how it go down. Gotta
You
spaz
have
on
to.
that. So yeah, so you guys take them through different chambers,
Word up, man. I just want to end with watch how it go down. I know everybody asks you that question, but you guys you and Premier have a great relationship now, but let's take it a little bit back to that point when you first did the record. What was that feeling like, bro, working with the GOAT?
Yeah, man. For me, I was just going through tough times, and it shows on the record. I was getting in trouble with the law. I was in the custody battle to see my child. I was having beef on the street where it was ugly. Like you could come outside and just get shot in your dome and it's all over right then and there because it's just what type of time it was, you know. So all that frustration, all that stuff I was going through, it spilled out on the record, and the beat was perfect. It just set the perfect tone, and the flow. I just like, I tapped into a bag that I could honestly say I don't think I've ever tapped into again. I've got like 99% there, but it's just something about the desperation of like what you're personally going through at times, which makes classic records, you know. And I feel
Mm,
like I've made classics again. I feel like I've made songs that are lyrically just as good, or you know, records that have stood the test of time. But there's nothing that is just quite like it, you know. And that's what the roughest, one of the hardest things with the fans. They always want you to, yo, man, I just wish you would just go, just make that, just do, watch how it go down again. It's like, dog, I'm happy now. Like, look how happy I am. You feel me? My kids is older. I'm
right,
doing shit for the community. I'm chilling. I'm happy. I wasn't happy and watch how it go down. I was
right.
deeply hurting. You know what I'm saying? And it came
Yeah,
out and I was mad hungry because I knew it. I'm like, yo, I need to get off of this block. I need to get out of this mind state and be what I want to be what I'm destined to be, which is, you know, in
right.
hip hop game.
100%, man. 100%. That record, you know, when I first heard it, for me, man, I felt proud because it's like not only is like I know this guy, but somebody from the hood has a record with Premier. Like that's always incredible. And I felt like not only just 978-617, but all area codes in Mass were like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
this
No, Mass
guy,
held me down. When
yeah,
that came out, like Boston, you know, had my back, and the surrounding cities of Boston really had my back.
exactly.
And they just, you know, I feel like not, you know, not only Mass, but Mass really had my back. I did like a million shows, you know,
Yeah,
when Watch Out Go Down dropped. And it saved my life, bro. Like I was literally trapping and just doing a lot of dumb shit. And then it was like, oh, you could make thousands of dollars rapping every day now because you have a hit song. And
right,
now you're
right.
go for it, you know? So
No, absolutely, bro.
that was a blessing, and I still thank Primo for it. You know what I mean? He knows it's a classic. He knows how, you know, it's hard for me to even enter his top 100. You know what I'm saying? Because he, what you gonna put against New York State of Mind and Kicking the Door? And Nas is like, it's like
Oh my
he's on
God.
his own level. That like, even if somebody's like, yo, your 99th hottest song is Watch How It Go Down, I'm like, woo, I'm in there, you know. But
You're
he
part of the
understands.
catalog. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm part
enough.
of it, man.
Yeah.
And something that I thought was real impressive was that, you know, he went on tour for 4 years straight and did you know, a live band called the Batter Band, and the
Hmm.
second song that they performed every night was my song How We Rock, and they would
Oh,
do it live with the band. So it was like I really crept in the catalog, and you know, was able to align myself with some greatness.
definitely, man. That's incredible. Term, man, that's the end of it. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but tell the people what you got coming up next. I know 360's out, but anything else you're working on?
Yeah, well, tonight alone, man, you know, Shade 45 is rocking right now till 9 p.m. with Static Selector. My man Ishan the rapper is live on there. He's coming up from Boston. He's real dope, so check out his freestyle and interview. I'm also on Jam at 94.5 in like 5 minutes with my man Pup Dog. So if you're driving around in Boston or New England, you can check that out. But other than that, man, if you want to support the music directly, I have a Bandcamp page. It's Termanology's Bandcamp. You can go on there. You could buy all my music, physical or digital. And the website is gooddadgang.com if you want to purchase any Good Dad Gang merch for, you know, anybody in your life that you feel deserves it. The backpack giveaways this Sunday. If you know anybody that needs some school supplies, it's from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. 168 Newbury Street in Lawrence. Thank you for having me. You know, there it is.
Absolutely, bro. Good talking to you, man. It's always a pleasure, my bro.
My bro. Salute.
Take it easy. Peace.